This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today my presentation is Hridroga. I'll be dealing about Nidana Panchaka of Hridroga. The exact meaning of Hridroga is heart diseases. Just to introduce the subject for you people. In the classics, a very brief definition has been given. The references are from Madhava Nidana, Sushruta Uttara Tantra 43, then Charaka Chikitsa 26, and Charaka Sutra 17. Now the definition goes like this. Acha, before that, let me talk to you for 1 or 2 minutes that Hridroga should never be interpreted at this juncture to that of any cardiac disorders, because of the fact that the student community is put to confusion if the direct comparison is done between these two. So the best way is to learn Hridroga according to Ayurveda classics and to read cardiac diseases according to modern classics. There are certain situations wherein there is slight similarities there. A doubt also arises, especially when we talk about Vataja Hridroga and all that. Some of the acharyas have compared it to that of IHDs and all. I think I have my own opinion about that. So better, as because you are in learning stage, so better do not try to compare them right now. So learn Hridroga as Hridroga from Ayurvedic point of view, and when the person deals with you with ISDs and all, then that you learn separately, and don't try to club them, because at all the levels we differ. Etiologies, etiopathologies, etiopathogenesis, then clinical presentation, because any cardiac disorder is an emergency condition, and we may have to be very alert and exact in managing and identifying these situations. Any ignorance or delay in identifying these situations of the individuals. At the end of my lecture, I will try to highlight how you should deal with a patient who comes to you with a history of chest discomfort. Just discomfort, simple. Okay. Now let us only know about Ayurvedic point of view. As far as Nirukti of Hridroga is concerned, it is mentioned as Hridi Rogo Hridroga iti Niruktihi. Madhanidana. That is any discomfort or any problem related to Hridaya region or in and around the Hridaya region can be called as Hridroga. So the Acharya has clarified here that Hridroga means any discomfort which is in and around the Hridaya. The Hridaya refers to here the heart which is there in the left side of the chest region. That is precordial region, behind the left side of the chest, precordial region. Now remember, I have clarified that. Try to learn Hridroga in simplest way as it is mentioned in Ayurveda. As far as etiologies are concerned, Nidanas are concerned, if you look into the Nidanas, in Madhava Nidana, 29th chapter, it's mentioned as Atyushna, Guru, Kashaya, Kashaya Anna, Atyushna, that is hot food substances, Guru Anna, that is those food supplements which are heavier for digestion. Which are the heavier for digestion? Oily substances, Madhurata Pradhana Dravya, Guru Guna Pradhana Dravya, are indeed Guru for Pachanartha. Here Guru Anna refers to those substances which are not easily digestible, which take lot of time in getting digested. Next is Kashaya Tikta those supplements, food substances which are Kashaya Rasa Pradhana, Tikta Rasa Pradhana, Shrama, that is, here you can refer to Manasika Shrama and Sharirika Shrama also. Abhighata, any injuries direct to the heart region. Adhyashana, that is habit of taking frequent meals before the previous meal is digested. Adhyashana has been considered as a regular and common nidana for many diseases like ama janya vikaras. So adhyashana is one. Adhyashana we mean taking food before the previous meal is digested. That we call as adhyashana. Sachintanaihi, that is the one who has got more worries. Vega vidaranaischa, Vega avarodha. Then what happens now? Because of these consumption of these, Hrut amayaha, Panchavida pradishtiha. Then this because of this nidana, when the morbid dosha reach the Hridaya and they become responsible for producing 5 types of Hridroga. Now let us try to know Samprapti. If you look into the Nidanas, these Nidanas directly influence of vitiation of Tridosha. What does the Samprapti say? Dushayitva rasam dosha viguna hrudayam mataha. Due to the Nidana Sevana, which I have mentioned just now, Vatadi dosha are vitiated. Remember, for Agnimandya Avastha, to take the Agni to get vitiated, vitiation of Sharirika dosha is mandatory. And the Sharirika dosha can get vitiated whenever there are conjunction of Nidanas. It could be Aharaja Nidana, it could be Viharaja Nidana, or it could be Manasika Nidana. So it is mandatory that Sharirika dosha should get vitiated, and once the Sharirika dosha get vitiated, they are liable to vitiate the Agni. And when Agni Mandya Avastha takes place, this becomes prime reason for Utpatti of Samarasa. Utpatti of Samarasa. That is, in normal circumstances, when the Agni is Prakrita, there are no chances of producing Samarasa. That is Rasa Dhatu, which is Ama Yukta, is called as Sama. That is Sa Ama is Samarasa. Right? Now remember, when Samarasa Dhatu Utpatti is there, Samarasa Dhatu Utpatti is there, and whenever Ama is there, in amongst the Ama Lakshanas, Srutoroda Balabharonsha Gauravanila Mudata is told, right? The prime development secondary to Amotpatti is Sruto Avarodha. There is obstruction of Srutasas, respective Srutasas, whether it is Samarasa or Samarakta or Samaka, whatever it is, or Samavata, right? So Agni Mandata leads to production of Samarasa Dhatu, Utpatti of Samartha Dhatu, and this Samarasa Dhatu causes Srutavarodha. And when the Srutavarodha is there is Uroruja, that is pain in the chest region, and this is called as Hridaya Roga. Now, as because Hridaya is Utpatti Sthana of Rasada, Mula of Rasa Dhatu. Rasa Vahe Dve Hridayam. So Hridaya is the Mula Sthana of Rasa Dhatu. So when the basic component of Rasa Dhatu is Amayukta, then leads to Rasa Dhatu, Samarasa Dhatu Utpatti, and this Samarasa causes Avarodha to the Rasa Dhatu, the Rasa Vasrotas. And this Rasa Vasrotas, when this creates or produces uroruja, that is pain in the chest region, and this is called as an hridaya vikara, hridaya roga. That's why it is said dushaitvam rasam dosha vigunam hridayam gataha. When the vitiated morbid dosha, vitiated dosha, vitiate the rasa, and when the rasa dhatu reaches the hridaya, viguna means it disturbs the hridaya. Hrudi badham prakurvanti hrudrogam ta prachakshate. So when this samarasa takes shelter in the hridaya region, this causes disturbance. Badha is disturbs the normal physiological actions of the hridaya, and this creates this is called as hridroga. I hope I am clear in this, Srutorda. So I'll repeat this. The sequence of Samprapti I'll try to repeat. Because of the various Nidana Sevana, the Tridosha are vitiated, and this vitiated Tridosha. Now, when we talk about Tridosha, we should be able to pinpointedly pick up which dosha it is. When we go to where is Agni? Agni is in the Amasya, right? So, which dhatu dosha is there? Samana Vata is there. Which Vata is there? Samanata is there. Samana Vata is responsible for that, and Avalambaka Kapha is there. So all this, and so this vitiated Vyanavata disturbs the Pachakagni or the Agni, and the Agni loses its normal capacity, and thereby Samarasa Utpatti will be there, and this Samarasa causes Avrodha to the Rasavasrota, because Hruda is the Rasayan is arise out of that, and when a Srota Avrodha is there, and when this Samarasa takes shelter in Hridaya, and this creates a Ruja in the Hridaya region, Uro region. Uro here refers to chest, and more specifically, chest means area covering the heart, which we call anatomically precordium, and this condition is called as Hridroga. Now let us know some of the Ghatakas which are involved in. If there are any confusions, you may feel free to ask me when I finish my lecture, okay? Now, as far as the doshas are concerned, as I mentioned earlier, which dosha is involved, we have to know. Amongst the if we just mention that three dosha are involved, we should be able to pinpointedly mention which Hridaya Vikara. So which Vata is involved there? Vyana and Pranavata are involved. Vyanavata and Pranavata and Samanavata are involved. Sadhaka Pitta is involved, because Sadhaka Pitta is Ashrayasthana is Hridaya. Then Avalambaka Kapha is there, because it does Avalambana Krama, which is also present in the Hridaya region, right? So Vyanavata, Pranavata and Samanavata, Sadhaka Pitta and Avalambaka Kapha are the three components involved as far as dosha contribution is concerned. And as far as dusha is concerned, rasa and rakta are involved. If you remember, the disease is caused because of raktava sroto dusti, hridaya vikara is mentioned there. So as because hridaya is the mula sthana of rasa, so vitiated rasa is there. Hence the amongst dusha, rasa and rakta are to be included. And Agni, when we talk about Agni, it refers to Jatragni only, without using any prefixes or suffixes. Whenever we are using the term Agni, it refers to Jatragni only. So here, Agni refers to Agni Mandya Avastha, that is Jatragni Mandya Avastha. And Ama is Jatragni Mandya Janya Ama. So Dosha, Agni and Ama. Then what are the Srotas involved? As rightly mentioned, rasa and rakta dhatus are the two doshas involved. So consequently, rasavasrotas and raktavasrotas are involved as far as srotas are concerned. And what is the type of srotodusti? So as I initially mentioned, so when samarasa utpatti is there, it results to Sangatmaka Vikriti. Hence, Sangha is the manifestation. Because 4 types of Srotu Dushtis are there. Sangava, Siranam Granthi Opiva, Vimarga Gamanam Chapi, Srotasam, Dushti Lakshanam. That is one of the 4 varieties of Prakaras. Sangatmaka Vikriti takes place as far as Hrudaya. Now, as because Agni, the place of Agni is Amashaya and Samarasa Utpatti is there. So undoubtedly Amashaya and followed by Hrudaya, because Agnimanda is mandatory, Samarasa Utpatti also is mandatory, and the Samarasa should reach Hrudaya, and from there the Samprapti gets initiated from the level of Amashaya, and next to that Hrudaya is involved. So Amashaya and Hrudaya are to be considered as Srotas. Udbhavasthanas are concerned to be, and primarily Udbhavasthana is here Amashaya and Hrudaya, both. Sanchara Sthana. Now a doubt may arise in your minds, how we can consider Amashaya and Hrudaya is. Now Samarasa Utpatti takes place in various conditions, and all the conditions do not lead to Hrudaya Vikara. Let me clarify the confusion. Okay. Now, when we talk about Samprapti of Hrudaya Roga, when the through the rasayanas when reaches the Hrudaya Samarasa, then it can create Hrudaya Vikara. Hence, the involvement of Amashaya and involvement of Hrudaya has to be considered here. So, as because the basic Udbhavasthana is Amashaya, because Agni resides there, Agni is present over there, and Amatpa Rasa Samarasa Utpatti also takes place there. So Amashaya and Hrudaya should be considered here, both. So what is the Sancharasthana? Sancharasthana is undoubtedly Rasayanis, because Rasayanis arise from Hrudaya and from Amashaya, because once the Rasadhatu in the normal circumstances when digestion takes place, Ahara Pachana takes place, at the final stage when the Poshaka Rasadhatu Utpatti is taking place, so this is carried through the Rasayanis and they become responsible for nourishing the Uttara Dhatus. You know that Kshiradadhinyayam, based on that, the pariposhan of the dhatu will take place one after the other. Successively. Okay. So Sanchara Sthana here refers to Rasayanis. Some acharyas have considered Rasayanis also in this context, Rasa and Rakta also. That the principle behind that. Then consider only Rasayanis. In Nidana, in Samprapti Lakshana Sambandha, P.V. Sharma's one book is there, green book is there, which has got a compilation of all the diseases, and in that he has given exclusively only Samprapti Ghatakas. If people are interested, you can buy it and you can just refer. That will be a guide for you people in creating or in making you how to write a Samprapti Ghataka of individual disease. Very nice presentation is there. Very small booklet is there. You can purchase. Let me repeat the name: Samprapti Lakshanayo Sambandha, written by P.V. Sharmaji. Okay. Now this is about Rasayanis, Srotas, Sancharasthana. And what is the Vaktasthana? We consider Vaktasthana area where the disease gets manifested, where it is identified. For example, Netra, Tvacha and all we tell, because we are trying to identify the Roga looking into these places. Pandu, Naka, Netra, Tvacha. This is how we try to, just I am trying to create some impression in your minds that what is the importance of Vaktasthana. Vaktasthana is the one where Vyadi exhibition is there. For example, Jora. Jora is exhibited Sarvadahika. So we call it as Tvacha. Vaktasthana is Tvacha. Tvacha is present all over the body. Either you write all over the body or you write Tvacha remains same. It goes without saying. Okay. So this is Vyakta Sthana is Hridaya Pressure, because if the person exhibits discomfort in the Hridaya region, then only we call it as an Hridaya Roga. If somebody complains a discomfort in the abdominal region or Shiro region, we never call it as Hridroga. Okay, so let me clear these doubts from your minds, right? So Vyakta Sthana is undoubtedly Hridaya Pressure. So let me tell you, Vyakta Sthana is a place where the Vyadhi gets exhibited and the person identifies. For example, if it is Prameha, Mutravasrotas, because ultimately looking to the Muhurmur Mutram Tyagam Karoti or Prakarshena Mehati. So looking to that, we consider Vyakta Sthana is the place from where Vyadhi is exhibited and identified by the clinician. What is the Vyadhi Swabhava? Vyadhi Swabhava is whether the prakriti of or the nature of the Vyadhi is sudden onset or it is in insidious onset, whether it is acute or it is chronic, whether it is ashukari or it is chirakari. So Hridaya Vikara, according to me, is an ashukari only, because there is sudden manifestation of discomforts in the Hridaya region. Secondary to the Nidana consumption, when a person commits the Nidana, so this can be exhibited. So it does not require more time. So it is undoubtedly it is a case of that is Vyadhi Swabhava is Ashukari, sudden onset. Acha, there is one more clarification given in some of the books. Sudden, more than 1 year, there is again debates on this. So the conditions which arise immediately are to be considered as Ashukari, and those which are gradual onset are to be called as Chirakari. So undoubtedly, Hridaya Vikaras are Ashukari in nature. Roga Marga. Now, the knowledge of Roga Marga already has been imparted to you, maybe in first year or maybe in second year, I do not know. Every disease has got its own Roga Marga. And remember, for this, as I had mentioned in earlier class, to decide the Sadhya Sadhya of the Vyadhi, knowledge of Roga Marga is important. How many Roga Marga, if it is Ek Roga Marga, it is Sukha Sadhya or sometimes Kashta Sadhya. If it is involvement of two roga marga, it may becomes Kashta Sadhya or Sadhya. If it is 3 roga, like that, it is okay. So as because Shiru Hrudaya Bastadi Marmanastam cha Sandeha, Shiro Hrudaya Bastyadi Marmanastam cha Sandeha, Tanibadda Sirasnayu Kandaradascha Madhyama Roga Marga. So undoubtedly, Hridaya Vikara is a Madhyama Roga Marga, because simple reason that Hridaya lies in the Madhyama Roga Marga. So as because Hridaya Vikara we are dealing with, undoubtedly the Roga Marga is Madhyama Roga Marga. Let me repeat once again the Samprapti Ghataka, if you are noting them down, well and good. So it is Hridaya Vikara is Vata Pradhana Tridoshi Vikara. The dosha, Vata dosha, amongst the 5 types of Vata dosha, Vyana, Prana and Samana Vata are involved. And as far as Pitta is concerned, it is Sadhaka Pitta involvement. Sadhaka Pitta and Pachaka Pitta. And Kapha is Avalambaka Kapha. As far as Dushya is concerned, Rasa and Rakta Dushya. And Agni is Jatragni Janya Mandyavastha. And Ama is Jatragni Janya Mandyajanya Ama. And Srotas here is Rasava and Raktava Srotas. And Sroto Dushti is Sangatmaka Dushti. And Udbhavasthana is undoubtedly Hridaya, Amashaya and Hridaya. Sancharasthana, Rasayan is. Vyaktasthana, Hridaya Pradesha. Hridaya Pradesha, you should not take it. Hridaya Pradesha here refers to area in the chest covering the heart, which we normally call as precordium. Left side of the chest also you can say. Area in the chest covering the heart should be considered here when we talk about Hridaya Pradesha, right? Then Vyadhi Swabhava is Ashukari in nature, that is acute onset. And as far as Roga Marga is concerned, it is Madhyama Roga Marga. If there are any doubt about this, you can just note them. You can ask me when I complete my class. Okay. There are 5 types of that is Vataja, Pittaja, Kafaja, Sannipadaja, Krimija, Utrakaja, and my next be covering it tomorrow. Now let us know something about the lakshanas, premonitory symptoms and symptoms of this. As far as in Sushruta Uttana Tantra, it is mentioned as Hrudroge Purvarupani Avyaktam, he mentions. So as because it is acute onset, according to Sushruta, the Purrupas, that is premonitory symptoms, are Avyakta. Acha, according to some acharyas, Avyaktam, Alpavyaktam Va it is mentioned. That is, Purrupa may not be manifested very clearly because they are premonitory symptoms of the disease. They can be Alpavyakta also. The clinician attending on these patients should use his knowledge, experience to identify this. Even in the context of Vatavyadhi also, Avyaktam Lakshanam Tesham has been mentioned. It cannot be just said that they are not visible. If the clinician tries to identify Alpavyakta, they may not be visible as we expect. So the clinician has to use his knowledge, experience, and the confidence in identifying these Purrupa Lakshanas. So let us don't neglect this part also. Now, Lakshanas are concerned. Vaivarnyam, that is Vivarnata is there, discoloration. So Vaivarnyam is one symptom. Murcha, Vaivarnya is discoloration. What sort of discoloration do we expect here? There may be the Prakrita Varna of the Twacha, maybe in the Mukha region, or maybe in the Osta region, maybe in the Jiva region may change. So that's why it is mentioned as Vaivarnyam. Change in the, that is discoloration, change in the normal complexion of the skin, that is Vaivarnyam. Murcha, that is state of unconsciousness. It could be a state of semi-consciousness or it could be in a state of unconsciousness. This I have already clarified when I was talking to you in my earlier class, that is Pandu. That is Jwara. Jwara is there, body temperature gets increased. Kasa, there may be cough also. There may be hikka, shwasa, kasa, hikka, shwasa, whenever pranava srotas dustis, because Hridaya also is Moolasthana of pranava srotas, one of the constituent pranava srotas. Hence, any problem related to Hridaya or Pupusa, these 3 features related to pranava srotas, that is kasa, shwasa, hikka, are very commonly manifested. It depends upon the what extent of damage is done to the srotas, right? Kasa, that is cough, or hiccups, or shwasa, that is a difficulty in breathing. Asya vairasya is there, that is bitter taste in the mouth. Asya vairasyam. Trishna, that is thirst, exhibition of thirst is there. Pramohaha, moha, pramoha are again concerned to the altered sensorium, altered consciousness, what is called as cloudy consciousness. Moha, cloudy, the clarity is not there. In this stage, the person may not be able to perceive your interrogation. The person may not be able to identify what exactly is going on. So that is called as cloudy consciousness. To experience this, best way is on Sundays, when you are not attending your college and you take a nice meal and go to sleep in the afternoon. When you get up in the evening, you have got a lot of lethargicity, and to some couple of moments, you have that non-clarity of your mind. That is the best example of moha, that is cloudy consciousness. Just to make you understand the the moha, I just try to give you this example. Okay. Now Chardi is there, Klesha is there, Kapha increase is there. So a lot of spitting will be there, Praseka will be there, froth will start coming through the mouth, or a lot of secretions will start coming the mouth. That is called as Kaphot Klesha. Whenever Kapha Vruddhi is there, Kaphot Klesha, that is very commonly seen. Kaphot Klesha is a feature of Kapha Vruddhi Lakshana. Kapotklesha is there. Shiroruja is there. Shiroruja is there. Ruja is there. Aruchi is there. And Rudroga is there. This all these are told in the context of Hrudroga. That is Vaivarnya, Murcha, Kasa, Hikka, Shwasa, Asya Vairasya, Trishna, that is thirst, Pramoha, that is consciousness or cloudy consciousness. Unconsciousness is already told. Murchavastha refers to unconsciousness. Cloudy consciousness is for a temporary period. Person is not in a position to understand what is happening around, or they may not be able to identify or perceive your instructions or interrogations. Then Chardi, there. Ruja here refers to Ruja or any Ruja for that matter. More specifically, feature Lakshana seen in the in a patient of in a roga of in a Hridrogi. This is a Lakshana of, these are the Lakshanas of Hridroga. Now there are certain Upadravata Sarupa of Lakshanas are told in the context of so a clinician, the person who is attending on a patient should have the list of these features in the mind. So whenever these features are present, these people, the patients are presented in front of you, you should be able to identify what exactly is the condition patient, whether the patient tells or the patient's attender tells. If the patient is conscious, you can talk to them. If the patient is unconscious, you may talk to the attenders, or you may use your common sense, you may use your confidence, you may knowledge, and then you can experience in this context that klama is told. Klama is fatigue or tiredness. Klama. Sado brahmaha, that is giddiness is there, persistent giddiness there. Shosha is there. So these three are mentioned in the context of Upadrava of, in the context of Hridaya Roga, as far as Upadravas are concerned. So these are the few Upadrava Sarupa Lakshanas which are mentioned in the context of Hridroga. So today we have tried to understand the definition of Hridroga, that is any Nirukta Hridroga, that is any discomfort or any disease which is related to the Hridaya. Hridaya here it refers to the heart, which is present in the left side of the chest. He refers, of course, there are certain confusions created by some of the scholars, Shiro Hridaya, that and all. That again is a big debate. You can debate that when you come in, join some college for PGs and all. That would be ideal, not now. Okay. So any discomfort related to Hridaya refers to a Hridroga. So again, in while telling about the Nidanas, I did make a mentioning of people who are committing Ati Ushna Ahara, Guru Bhojana, then Kashaya Tikta Rasa Pradhana Ahara, Sharirika Shrama and Manasika Shrama. Manasika Shrama refers to stress factor, and Sharirika Shrama refers to physical stress factor, and Abhigata here refers to, in the context of Madhav Nidana, refers to injuries to the heart region. Then further one more is Chinta has been mentioned again along with that. Apart from Shrama, to designate that the anxiety or stress related factor also is very more important as far as the Chintana is concerned. Chintana is worries, mental worries, which takes away now takes away the normal health condition of an individual. Chintana. Hence, Chintana also has been mentioned in the context of Hridroga being prime. Then Vegadharana also. So these all Vegadharana, Chintana causes vitiation of Vata dosha because Vega Avroda Kshatopa Margasya Vananecha. That's Vega Vidhana also causes Vata vitiation. Atyushna Guru, Atyushna Ahara causes Atyushna Kashayatik Rasa and all these vitiate Pitta dosha, and Guru Bhojana and all these vitiate Kapha dosha. So here all these Nidana refer to the vitiation of three dosha, and these three dosha when vitiate the Agni and thereby the further production of that is Hridroga. That is Samprapti of Hridroga starts from there, from Amasha. Okay, so this is in short about Hridroga. Now, important point what I have. So, are there any doubts here, students? Or shall I go ahead? Hello, am I audible to you, students? Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any doubts? Please be kind enough to ask me now, or shall I continue?
Continue, sir.
Okay, I will try to present my complete by then. How? Okay, okay. How to deal with these patients which come to you when we talk about because why it is needed? Because remember, all the chest pains are not due to cardiac problems. Majority of the chest pains are because of some other systemic problems. Could be a gas smaller gut, and whenever gas accumulation is there, it always goes towards the upward direction, and it can pressurize over the diaphragm, and thereby a person may land on into OPD. He may land into OPD saying that I have developed a chest pain. When irregular diets are there, perverted food habits are there, consumption of liquor, smoking, tea, coffee, and all are there. These all can be responsible for creating a discomfort in the chest. Now the question is, how do we deal with these patients who come to us with a discomfort in the chest? Discomfort, I mean, a person is not comfortable with the chest region. He keeps the hand over the chest, comes, Doctor Sahab, mere chhati mein takleef ho raha hai mere ko. He may not ideally use the word chest pain. People who are educated may tell you that, Doctor Sahab, I have got a chest pain. They may tell you, and it could be a guiding point for you people. But by and large, as because we are in a poor country and a lot of lack of education is there, and of course now thanks to the government and even other visual medias which are creating a lot of awareness regarding the cardiac disease and all. But the chest discomfort when this is presented, please spend some moments on these patients. Please spend some moments on these patients in evaluating the actual whether the discomfort is a cardiac origin or whether it is a non-cardiac origin. This is very important from clinical point of view. One more clarification is, now if you mistakenly consider a simple chest pain, a muscular pain, a costochondrial pain, or an gaseous pain, or an acidic pain, to be that of a cardiac discomfort and create an anxiety for yourself and as well as the attenders of the patient and make them spend some couple of bucks, there is no problem. Nothing may happen because you are wrongly diagnosed and the patient is at the beneficial side. On the contrary, if an cardiac pain is misdiagnosed to be that of a non-cardiac pain, and there lies the risk, and you are likely to lose the patient for having not been able to make the right diagnosis and identify an emergency condition which is called as a cardiac pain, that is IHD, which normally we see in ischemic conditions. Maybe an anginal pain, that is what we call angina pectoris, or a myocardial infarction. Both are present, very elaborately explained in the context of IHDs in the modern literature. Now, as because you are in second year students, so you have got every chance and now the incidence of IHDs are more in the society, and you may get a chance to identify. And whenever this chance is presented to you, do not spend time, waste time. Use your common sense and knowledge, identify it immediately, and try to refer them to an appropriate center wherein facilities are facilitated. This is what I expect from our students for second year, third year, and final year students, because nobody comes to you within a classical way presentation. They may come down, and that's because lot of awareness is there, because people here na kallu ni usko haath phelo ke mara, usko ye ho ke mara, like that people, and that has created a sort of fear in the minds of the public, common people. So whenever it is an incidence of chest pain, people do come down to a doctor, dekho mere chati mein dukh raha, mere chest mein dukh raha, like that the people may drop in. Okay, now these any chest discomfort should never be ignored. Acha, when we talk about a chest pain, now you may just go on noting also. Remember, when we talk about the pain, you have to remember site of pain. Site of pain. Site of pain you have to remember. Now, site of pain, number one. Now, which site is important as far as cardiac pain is concerned? Site here refers to a chest region, preferably precordial region. From there it arises. Whenever we talk about a cardiac pain or an IHD pain due to ischemic condition of the myocardium of the heart, remember it starts from the precordial region in the chest, left side of the chest. And where does it radiate? Normally all the chest pains are radiating in nature. Radiation, we mean pain arises at one place, originate at one place, and starts radiating to the other place. You need to have this knowledge of radiation of the pains also, whether it is a biliary colic, whether it is a renal colic, or whether it is a ureteric colic, or whether it is a IHD, that is because of ischemic pain. Okay, now it starts from the precordial region and it refers to the left side of the chest. It may be referred to the shoulder girdle. It may refer to the left side of the shoulder. It may descend down, radiating to the left elbow joint, or it may descend down even up to the left hand, forehand, and fingers also. It all depends upon what is the severity of the pathology therein. Never ignore such patients. You must spend some times in. I'll tell you how to deal with these patients. Okay. Now the pain will refer to the left side of the shoulder girdle, or to the left upper arm, or to the left forearm, or up to the fingers also. This is one set. Sometimes the pain may refer to the deep back. I repeat, the pain may be referred to radiate towards the deep back, or sometimes it may radiate to the right side of the chest, or sometimes it may radiate to the right side of the right shoulder joint, or sometimes they may radiate to the neck region. There are some patients which are misinterpreted to be that of a toothache, and the patient is missed. And if you miss the patient, you are missed in once and for all. So please use your common sense, and please use your knowledge, and try to do the interpretation of these particular presentations. Okay, now the radiation is towards that. And what is the type of pain? Site of pain is understood, radiation is understood. What is the type of pain? Type of pain is either it is crushing type, or whether it is burning type, or it is shooting type of pain is there. Very classical of its kind. Patient says, अरे डॉक्टर साहब छाती में पकड़ के दवाई जैसा हो रहा है मेरे को, I am feeling a sort of crushing, somebody is crushing my heart, like that they will tell. And remember, the pain is intense, pain is very severe. Whenever whether it is if it is intermittently coming, patient would say बर्तन डॉक्टर बड़ा त्रास ಆಗ್ತದ ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ बहुत तकलीफ होता है डॉक्टर साहब, like that. So it is excruciating, crushing type of pain, and the patient may not be able to tolerate that depending upon the severity. So either it is, sometimes it is misinterpreted to be that of a hyperacidic pain. Please never ever get carried away. It could be sometimes a burning pain also. I'll tell you how you must use your common sense and the knowledge. You can have complete confidence in dealing with these patients, right? So site of pain, radiation of pain, type of pain. Okay. Now the next comes is what brings on pain and what that is. These are called as modifying factors, right? Now, if the patient says, Doctor Saab, whenever I'm trying to walk around, whenever I'm trying to ascend the stairs, I start getting pain, and when I stop, the pain disappears. This itself is an clinching sign that probably there is some problem with the cardia. So exertion, any minor exertion or major exertion could result in manifestation of the pain, and at rest the pain gets relieved. This is the exertion brings on pain and the rest relieves the pain. This is called as modifying factors. Modifying factors. Okay. Acha. What are the other features seen along with this? What I mentioned, the presentation first is pain from the precordial region radiating to the towards the areas which I have mentioned already, and type of pain is crushing type or burning type, right? And the modification is relieving and aggravation factors, right? Now, what are the other features seen along this? Remember, when we are dealing with the case of acute MI, that is the myocardium gets ischemized. Why does it get ischemized? For want of blood supply to the myocardium. Remember, there is one branch, coronary artery, which branches out from the arch of the aorta and supplied to the coronary artery, right? So the coronary system is the one which is supplying right side coronary artery supplies the right heart, and left side of the heart. Okay. Now when remember how the things go on worsening there, when the myocardium does not get its nourishing material, oxygen, for its own survival, the muscle becomes weak. Why does it become weak? It doesn't have its capacity to contract to the fullest extent, and thereby the emptying of the heart is disturbed. I repeat, when the contraction doesn't take place normally, when there is non-availability of the blood supply through the to the myocardium, and thereby the muscles become weak temporarily, and it may not be able to contract to its fullest extent, thereby resulting in non-emptying of the heart. Now what happens when the normal ejection is not there? When the normal output of the heart is affected, and thereby the circulation defect will be there, and with the circulation, peripheral circulation failure will be there, and there will be change in the central resistance towards the peripheral resistance, and thereby because of the peripheral circulatory failure, immediately profuse sweating will take place. Remember, all the patients who come to you with a chest pain or chest discomfort may not be a proven case already, or may be a known case of IHD. If it is a known case of IHD, it's a cakewalk. If it's a known case of an IHD, you will have to use your common sense. Look for the other features. Immediately rest him there. Record his blood pressure. Blood pressure may not be recordable sometimes, or blood pressure may be in the state of hypotension. Then look to the perspiration. Profuse sweating will be there. Look for the discoloration. Because of non-availability of the oxygen to the blood, cyanosis will start emerging. Cyanosis, we mean bluish discoloration of the skin, bluish discoloration of the lips, bluish discoloration of the nails and all, or bluish discoloration of the face, or even in case some severe cases, generalized cyanosis may also be seen. So this is very, very important from clinical point of view. I would advise you people to memorize this properly, and whenever you are at home or you are traveling in a bus or elsewhere, whenever these chest discomfort patients are presented to you, mind you, You are there at the scene of the event, and you could be the best judge to save the patient. I hope I am very clear in this. Record the blood pressure. This is what at our level we can do. And remember, 100% rest should be given to him, and no mental excitement. Whatever may be the reason, whatever may be the place the patient is found to be there, you are not supposed to initiate any of the psychological stress or physical stress. 100% mental and physical rest is mandatory to save these patients whom you are suspecting to be, or who are suspected to be an IHD condition. Because for example, to what extent this is being told? For example, if you are crossing a road, you have to, for education I'm telling how to educate the patients. If you are educated by me through me, if I educate you properly, you can definitely educate your own patients. Okay, now if the patient is crossing the road and if he gets a chest discomfort, he must lie down there and then only. If he tries to cross over the road, he may not end the road, he may collapse there. These are mentioned in the books, cardiology books. You can find out from the literatures also. Or you are driving your car, you are entering into your garage, you are entering your house, you got chest pain in the car, and you are trying to enter into the garage. Please do not do that. You have to tell them that you lie down there and then only on the seat, because this could prevent him from collapsing. I repeat, this immediate mental and physical rest could prevent that person from getting further aggravation and collapsing for that. So remember, any mental or physical exertion needs oxygen, and there are no possibilities of cardio working at this particular event. So as because the event is like this, so there will be the immediate rest is needed. So in a presentation of the chest, try to evaluate properly the chest discomfort as far as origin, the site of the pain is concerned, type of pain is concerned, radiation of the pain is concerned, and modifying factors are concerned. Acha, there are certain patients who tell that whenever I am getting pain, when I take my tablet, because they are put on some tablets, like isordil tablet is there, or glycerin trinitrates are there. And when we take this tablet, when we crush these tablets under our teeth, immediately we get relief. Ultimately, they are having recurrent myocardial infarction and they are getting rid of. So they should be properly evaluated and they should be treated properly by the concerned experts. Okay. Now there is one point I would like to tell here. In diabetic patients, this may not be the presentation. You have to be extra alert. You have to be biased, rather, I would tell you. Whenever a diabetic patient is there, in diabetes, the cardiac problems are common, because diabetes and cardiac problems go hand in hand. You remember what is meant by hand in hand? Yeah. I meant that. So they go hand in hand. There are a lot, because if in spite of getting good management of diabetes, there can be vasculopathies. There can be change in the physiological or anatomical limitations of the vascularity, and the vasculopathies will be there. If unfortunately coronary arteries are involved, so the cardiac presentations will be there. So hence you need to be little what I would say, apprehensive about these people. Whenever a known diabetic patient is there, may not be maybe from your family or may not be from your family. If a diabetic patient is there and if you are called to attend in the night, so my father is getting a discomfort, he has got restlessness, or he has got chest pain or chest discomfort and all, remember, you are dealing with a complicated case. So as because a word is used, a silent MI word is used. Here MI refers to the chest pain. Silent pains are there. Where is the question of silent pain? How do you ascertain that? You have to use your extra common sense, extra knowledge to identify in ischemic condition of the heart when we talk about a diabetic patient. Remember, neuropathy is very common development amongst diabetic patients, and they may not be able to produce in a classical fashion what a non-cardiac patient is presenting. I hope I'm very clear in this. So use your extra common sense, extra knowledge, extra confidence, and try to identify this. Remember, other than chest discomfort, they may tell is that I have got fullness in the chest. I have got fullness in the chest, they may tell, and the rest of the other features like perspiration may be there, cyanosis may be there, hypotension may be there. Patient may have an consciousness. Patient may collapse also in front of you only. So these are few developments which we have seen on couple of patients in our practice, and we have tried you need to be biased that they may or he or she may come down to you one fine day with a chest discomfort. I remember a dialogue of a cardiologist speaking on a dais. I remember any patient with diabetes comes down to you in middle of the night or some odd hour and tells you that he has got a chest pain or a chest discomfort. Mind you that it could be a case of acute MI. This is what the statement given by a famous cardiologist of publicity. I remember when I was a student, I remember that. I have noted in my points also. Remember, you could be also one of the person who may come across in your clinical practice. So you can do justice with these patients. So to conclude, all the chest pains are not because of cardiac infarction. And in cardiac infarction, always there is chest pain. I repeat, in all the ischemic conditions of the heart, there is chest pain. When I was a student, we never used to hear acute MIs and all. We never used to see frequency of diabetic patients or hypertensive patients also. Unfortunately, now, because of the lifestyle, the food habits, the tremendous amount of personal habits and all, and the stress factor, of course, because the small children are put to stress right from the LKG. That's why this is about in short the brief description of so in cardiac you have to be little alert and little biased regarding identifying and taking the example of the patients. Whenever you go home, you are in second year already, you are exposed to clinical evaluation. Please carry your stethoscope and a sphygmomanometer along with you. If you don't have, you purchase it right now. You purchase, keep it with you, and take whenever you go home. Please take them. You may need it in middle of the hours, maybe for your family, unfortunately for your family persons, or maybe for your neighbors or somebody else. Okay. So this is about the applied aspects of the ruja, uro ruja. I repeat, all the chest pains are not cardiac, and in ischemic condition of all the ischemic condition of the heart, there is going to be a chest pain. And fortunately for us, identification is very easy. 70% of the patients will present to you with pain in the chest region whenever it is a case of ischemic condition of the myocardium. If there is an incidence of diabetes in them, they may not come to you in classical pain feature where they may tell fullness of the chest or discomfort in the chest, and they may present the other features like perspiration, cyanosis, hypotension, and all. And hypotension problem may be there, syncope, ischemia, or sometimes unconsciousness or shock conditions also may be there. So I hope I have conveyed you the message. If the still time is there, you may feel please to ask me any questions if there are. The class representative is there in the audience. Hello. 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 Am I audible to you? Hello. 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 Hello,
Yes,
students.
sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Arey yaar, you
Yes, sir.
keep yaar, why you don't respond to me whenever I talk to you? Are you listening to me? Acha, is that clear? Have I conveyed you the message regarding Hridroga and the interpretation of that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I am communicating to the CR, yaar. Okay. Do you have any doubts? If any student has got any doubt, you may feel please to ask me the question. Still time is there because now you don't have any class, na? Hello?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Somehow there is a lot of disturbance. Hello? I think there is disturbance here. Lot of disturbance is there. Hello?
Hello, sir. I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah, please ask me. Okay.
So, in the Rudragoda Lakshana Moha, you told, na, sir?
What is that? Moha.
It is for a prolonged or it's for a short time of period, sir?
No, it will be temporary. Your question is very genuine and right. Very good question. Moha will be a temporary phase. And if at that point of time, if they are not, even in the context of Amla Pitta also it is told, Moha is told. So we have to be very practical in this. In Hridroga, that's why I made it very clear in the beginning that please do not compare this to that of cardiac disorders. I made it very clear in the beginning. Just to not to confuse you people, I made this statement. And Moha will be very temporary. And if it is brought to your notice and if you do the management, the moha will get automatically disappeared. So moha will be it will not be a permanent one. It will be 100% temporary, maybe a transient period of time, maybe couple of minutes. That's all. I hope I am clear.
Oh, yes, sir. And
Hello,
what about
are you satisfied with this?
Shiroruja, sir?
Ruja, the general term is told there. A general term is there used by in Madhavanidhana and even in Sushruta also. The Ruja has been told. Here Ruja refers to Uroruja or Shiroruja also. There may be some one or two some person may be there who may tell you Shiroruja, because whenever it is a Pitta Doshana is there, Shiroruja is very commonly seen. Even in Amla Pitta also Shiroruja is told. Hence, in Pitta Javikara and Vata Javikara, Shiro is very commonly seen. That's why in the context of Hridaya Roga, Ruja refers to Uro Ruja, which are made very clear. And there may be some scattered patient may be there who may along with this present to you history of Shiro Ruja also. That is a classical type of headache. Now this I don't want to, but again I will have to take more time, because whenever we come across a patient with hypertension and all, we do see this. And when they come to us with a severe headache, palpitation and hypertensive states, probably they are at the danger of either going into a cardiac a stroke, maybe a cardiac stroke or maybe a cerebral stroke. So this we consider as premonitory symptoms, and we try to consider them and we try to immediately rest them, relieve them from all this pain and anxiety. We relieve them and the patient is found to be all right. We are thanks to the modern technologies which are helping us in identifying this at the primary stage. And at this level, if you are ignoring it, remember it is like an hanging sword. Tugua katte, hanging sword. Tugua katti. Is that clear? So Ruja will be there in some of the patients. The treatment doesn't differ. You take care of the automatically that will disappear. Anything?
No, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other student? Acha, 88 people have participated in this according to the record. So I hope next time I think we will meet in the class only. Okay. Shall I close if there are no doubts? Hello. If there are no doubts, shall I sign out?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.